Brian Little.
Japan.
There is one player in this NFL draft class that I think if the Detroit Lions are able to get their hands on him, I think that he can change the trajectory of the team. He would be an asset to the team, and he's definitely going to be a dog. I love everything about this kid, and it's no other than Jalen Carter. I definitely think that the Detroit Lions need to have Jalen Carter on the big board. When you put your big board up, you better add Jalen Carter to it, because pretty much this is what Detroit Lions need. They need that guy that's that alpha dog on the front line. Jalen Carter is that. I love everything about the kid's game. I love the violence that he plays with. I love the meanness and the toughness that he brings to the game of football. In so many words, this kid reminds me of Sue. I remember when the Lions drafted Sue at number 2 overall, and Sue definitely, in his rookie year, he did some things that a lot of rookies have not been able to do. I believe Sue that year, he had 66 tackles, and we're talking about a defensive tackle. 66 tackles, and I believe that Sue had 10 sacks, and that has not been done yet by any other defensive tackle that the Detroit Lions have had. If the Lions were to draft Jalen Carter, it's over for everybody. It's over. Because this is the type of dog that you need. You need a guy that's going to be able to show that leadership, but still at the same time have that meanness. Carter is, this dude is everything, man, that you want at a defensive tackle. He's everything that the Lions wanted out of Levi. And we're going to talk about Levi in here because we don't know what's going to happen with the Levi situation. We know that we got Josh Pascal, and we know that Josh, he can play. But do we know if Josh is really, really that dog that's going to be the starter? We don't really know that. But I think that if you draft Jalen Carter, he definitely is going to be a starter from day one. And this dude is going to bring something to the Lions defensive front line that they haven't had in a long time. And that's that meanness and the toughness. Carter has great top end speed. He's very athletic. He has a great get off. A great burst. He's considered one of the best interior defensive linemen to come into the draft, and he's rated number 1. He's rated to be number 1, the first defensive tackle taken in the draft. Now, currently, I believe the Detroit Lions are standing in about 4 right now. The top spot goes to Houston right now, and then the second spot, I think, goes to Chicago Bears. And then the third spot, I believe, goes to Seattle. Seattle gets the third spot. Right now, currently, the Lions are in the 4th place right now when it comes to being able to select Jalen Carter. So I definitely think that the Bears and the Seattle Seahawks, they would probably take Jalen Carter. I don't know initially what Houston is going to do, but everybody pretty much thinks that Houston is going to draft Bryce Young, and Bryce Young is going to be the first player taken off the board. They could go Will Anderson, or they could go Jalen Carter. We don't know. But we know that they do need a quarterback, and it just makes sense for them to take Bryce Young. But if some way and somehow, if the Detroit Lions get this alpha dog on the front line, it's going to be over for the league. Getting this guy to play along with James Houston, who hasn't played that many snaps, and is up there. He's up there with, look at this, Aiden Hutchinson, who is a dog, and I love Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson, I believe, got 7, 8 sacks, something like that. And James Houston hasn't even played that much. And this kid already has 5 sacks. His impact is being felt on the team. So just imagine, Detroit Lions fans, if you were to bring in Jalen Carter, what he would mean to the Detroit Lions. This defense would be nasty, and we would be feared in the league. The Detroit Lions better have Jalen Carter on their big board. Jalen Carter would change everything. The kid is good against stopping the run. He's good in creating pressure. He's very good at getting to the quarterback. He doesn't have a lot of sacks, and that's cool. But at the same time, creating that pressure up front with Aiden Hutchinson and getting some help from guys like Romeo Quire, if Romeo is still a part of the team, and Charles Harris and James Houston, I think that this team, I'm telling you, man, this team going to be lights out, man. The Lions are only a few pieces away on defense from really, really contending and really doing something. I think that this could be a special thing for the Lions if they draft Jalen Carter. And there's no doubt in my mind that Brad Holmes is looking at Jalen Carter and saying, man, if I can add that to my defensive line, I'm going to add it, because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with Levi. Levi injury could have him not playing for the rest of his career, because he's going to deal with that. He's going to continue to deal with those back issues, especially when you're dealing with chronic back issues. So the Lions, if they draft Jalen Carter, man, I know a lot of fans are probably going to go in an uproar because they feel, or should I say they think, this is the player that we need to ultimately be able to transform our defense. Now, we do need other pieces, a part of the team as well. We do need a stud at linebacker to be able to play along Malcolm Rodriguez. You know, grabbing a guy like Jack Campbell, grabbing a guy like Noel Sewell, grabbing a guy like Owen Papo, grabbing a linebacker like, I'm trying to think, it's a lot of linebackers. Bumper Pool, grabbing a linebacker like DeAndre Square from Kentucky, DeMarvin Overshown. That's another guy that you could grab at linebacker. The Lions, they need to grab a linebacker this season because we need that dog. We need that athletic linebacker, man. We need that athletic linebacker, man, to set this defense off. So teams will fear us when they play us. They'll be fearful of us when they play us, when they see us on the schedule. I just think that Jalen Carter, man, would be a great pick for the Detroit Lions. And I know I've had a lot of subs ask me, you know, what do I think about Jalen Carter? Well, this is what I think about Jalen Carter. I think that Jalen Carter would be a great addition to the Detroit Lions. I think that he should be the pick if you were going defense. I think between him and Will Anderson, those would be the two guys that I would target. If I'm trying to get my defense right, those are the two guys that I would target. Yeah, you need a corner too as well. You could probably get a Keely Ringo. You probably could get a Joey Porter, a Christian Gonzalez. You may can get a Devin Witherspoon, Cam Smith. There's a lot of different corners out there that you can take in this draft. This draft is heavy with corners, but being able to have that guy that's on the line, that's that guy, as the kids say nowadays, I'm him. Jalen Carter is him. He that dude, man, and I definitely think that he would help bolster the defensive line in Detroit, and this would be a defense to be feared. The Lions are only a few pieces away on defense for where they can really, really make some noise and really have those playmakers. And that's what you're looking for on the Detroit Lions. In this draft coming up for the Detroit Lions, you're looking for playmakers. You're looking for blue chip talent. You're not looking for nothing less than a dog. If you ain't a dog, you ain't wanted in Detroit. If you ain't a dog, hear me again, you ain't wanted in Detroit, because we need dogs. We need real lions. We don't need cubs on the team. We need real lions that's ferocious out there. And Jalen Carter fits the bill. He fits the bill. He's a violent football player. When I saw him play against LSU, and I saw this man pick up, not that he weighed a lot anyway, Jaden Daniels, the quarterback from LSU, with one hand, I knew right then and there, I'm like, man, this dude reminds me of Sue. Jalen Carter reminds me of Sue. And that's no lie. He's almost about the same size as Sue. And I think that he would just give that nastiness and that toughness that the Lions need on defense. Jalen Carter could change the Detroit Lions forever. Will Anderson could be that guy that changed the Lions too as well. Having another outside guy to line up outside with Hutch. Because I don't think that Josh Pascal is going to be the starter. Not if they pick up a Jalen Carter. Now, maybe if they don't decide to go with a Jalen Carter, if Jalen is not available and they decide to go, maybe they can get a Breesy from Clemson, or they can get a Mozzie Smith from Michigan. There's different options, though, that you can go besides putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping that you can get Jalen Carter. Because if you're not in the top 2, you're not really, if you're at 4, you don't really know who you're going to get and who you're going to pick, because they can decide to take Jalen Carter. The Bears could decide to take Jalen Carter. The Seahawks could decide to take Jalen Carter. So right now you don't know. So we don't know how the cards and the dominoes are going to fall towards the end of the season as far as the draft order and stuff like that. But what we do know is what we want and what we can use on this team to help this team get better. That's the only thing that I want to see, man. I want to see the Lions get blue chip talent, premium talent, and guys that can come in and help bolster the defense. And Jalen Carter is an alpha dog. He is one of those dudes that play with that fierce. He's one of those competitors that you could fear out there on that football field, because the guy is going to bring it 100% every single time, playing with that high energy, high motor. That's what you need in Detroit. You need a Jalen Carter at that defensive tackle. The kid reminds me of Sue, and I definitely think that he would be a guy. Him and Hutch would be nasty together, man. So we'll see, man, what the Lions do when the draft is here. But Jalen Carter is a name that I would have on the big boards. All right, you guys, this has been Raw Detroit. Just keeping it raw with you, and I'll be back soon with another video. I'm out of here. Peace.